Gritcoins. What are they? How are they earned? How are they activated? How are they used by students? This tutorial seeks to answer those questions. Let's get started. What are Gritcoins? Simply put, Gritcoins are typing agency currency that students use to buy game time or items to change their typing agent working space. Like in days of old where we used to go into video arcades, we had to use coins to play games or to buy treasured pieces. Well, typing agent uses the coins that students earn in our program to for students to play those games or to buy items to spruce up their interfaces. Nope, we do not ask students to pay any actual money. We want students to earn their time playing their games or sprucing up. Well, so you may ask, well, how do students actually earn these grit coins? Well, grit coins are actually based on your target settings. For example, I'm logged in as a district administrator, but even though I'm at a district administrator, school administrators have access to this. So do pay attention. And teachers, you as well. Your interface won't look exactly like this, but the same principle applies. I'm clicking on my grade 4 classroom, and for my district, I have set that students earn grit coins or they pass. Notice the 2-star requirements. We're saying that students need at least 2 stars in order to move on. So that means at grade 4, I'm expecting my students to type at 20 words per minute at 85% accuracy. So whenever my grade 4 students hit that target when they're doing their work, we will give them 5 grit coins. So any lesson where they hit the targets, they earn 5 grit coins. Now we know our students are actually kind of smart. They may try to gamify the system. So what they may try to do is they may do the same lesson again and again and again and again. Well, should they do that, they get the 5 grit coins the first time they've done the lesson, and anytime they repeat it, they get 0 grit coins. We don't mind them practicing, but we're not going to, or redoing the lessons, but we're not going to give them 5 grit coins every time they do the lesson. Note, however, if the students do not pass that lesson, we will reward them with 0 grit coins until they finally meet your goals. So again, students earn 5 grit coins for each lesson they've successfully completed. So how do you activate these grit coins? Because they're a great way to get students self-regulating, making sure, hey, I want to spruce up my avatar, or I want to do something in my interface. Well, we have to activate them. And again, at the district level, I click on school management, I go to permissions, and I make sure that I've given the school administrator or the teacher permission to access this. So this is where you have teachers doing this. If you don't want students to have access to the games or your district or school or teachers changing anything, just deny them that access. But if you give it to everyone, you then click save, you'll get a message saying that that's saved. So now that's done. I've made sure my permissions are set. But now that's not where I really want to go. I now want to go to grade settings. I want to just look at my grade 4 and 5 grade settings. And at the district level, I can enable games, and then I can click use grit coins if I want them to use the grit coins in order to play games. I click save, and then I get that message, settings have been updated successfully. So I know my students will now be required to, if they wanted to play the games, they have to use grit coins to play them. Notice that I can always take away a game if I didn't want them to play it. I can always move a game from their interface and then be sure to save it. So now note that's done, and I do that for all the grade levels that I want to use grit coins in order to play the games. So now I've set that at the district level. I'm going to log on now as a school administrator, and notice district administrators, I'm using your interface. I just clicked my user management system, and now I'm looking for, I sorted by school administrator, and I'm now going to log in as this school administrator. Notice my interface changes, and I have my admin button here as a school administrator. If you don't work in a district, but you're the administrator of your single standalone school, this is what your interface would look like. And you do the exact same thing that we just did, but again, it's a tad bit different. I'm going to click on school management here, and instead of having all the different schools and tabs that the district admin had, you now have these. And just like I was explaining your targets, you can do the exact same thing with your grade 4 targets. And these are our custom, these are our default settings, but you can always go in and change them. If the district has set these up for you, you're seeing, you're experiencing, or your students will have to use what your districts have set. But noticing that your district has set that teachers can modify things, or school admins can modify things, you can always go and click on any of these and save them, update those at the bottom. I don't want to do that. I just wanted you to see that that's where you do this. So I'm going to click on grade settings, and I'm going to go to my grades 4 and 5 because that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. And notice, because the district had pushed that down for us, that we can enable games and use Gritcoins, notice it shows up here. But again, if at the school, as a school administrator, if you don't want your students to have access to that, you just click them off, or you can actually disable the games. And students, when they click on that interface, they will not have access to it. But be sure to save it. Now, I don't want to save this because I want, this webinar shows you is focusing on Gritcoin, so I need those to be activated. I'm going to save those. And that's how you know at the school admin level that you've activated those. Now, notice the school administrator has access to all classrooms. Just like the principal of the school will be able to have access to every classroom under his or her control. Well, this is why we know we're in a district, in the school administrator or the principal's account. I'm now going to use the principal school user management button, and I'm now going to log in as a single teacher. So now this teacher works within this district administrator school, or the school administrator school, and there, notice the list of classrooms have gone down. These are now the classrooms that this particular teacher, Sharon Bates, these are the classrooms to which she has access. Only the admins have access to everybody, or if you set your, there's a teacher that needs to have access to every classroom in the school, then you'll set that teacher up as an admin, or give that teacher access to specific classrooms that she or he needs to have access to, and I dealt with that in a previous webinar. Okay, so now as this teacher, notice you don't have the admin button, but you do have your roster. And your roster will tell you everybody that's on, all children that are under your control. Now, that's not a good spot for me to go to. So I know I did adjustments for grade 4. So I click on my classroom on the left. And anything I do now affects only this particular classroom. I click on settings. And because this focuses the Gritcoins, we're focusing on games. Notice that it has been enabled for this classroom of students that will be that appear in this classroom. So for this classroom, they have Gritcoins used. And remember, in target settings, the target settings for this grade is that they need to type 20 words per minute at 85% accuracy in order to earn 5 Gritcoins. So when your students get that, they get 5 minutes of game time. So now let's understand how Gritcoins are used. The students in this classroom, again, clicking on that grade, or just, I was here, I can click on students. I see the students in my classroom. Remember, students earn 5 minutes of, whenever they successfully complete a lesson, they earn 5 minutes of game time. But students can only, if they wanted to use the Gritcoins, they need to, if to play games, they need to use them in bundles of 10. So what I'm going to do now is just show you this feature where you can log in as a student. I click that tag here. I see this login as button, and I go here and I log in as this particular student. As this student, I just know these areas here. This will tell the student how many Gritcoins the student has earned and how much game time they have remaining. In order to use Gritcoins, the student can choose a theme. And notice we have some that are free, quote unquote free, where they can just choose it. This student has this one, but if the student wanted the ocean theme, the student can click on that and notice the background changes. If the student wanted to change, because notice it just says Samantha, if the student wanted to change his or her avatar, okay, we can easily do that. The student can choose an avatar and give herself a certain look, and notice immediately that the avatar changes. These are the freebies we give for students. Now, that's what this particular student can do. Notice the student has no game time, but he or she, Samantha actually has none because she's earned no game time. That tells me she has either spent it all or she hasn't done any work to earn game time. I'm in grade 4 again, and now let's log on as this particular student, Nancy Forth. Let's look at Nancy's interface. Nancy, I can look quickly and see that Nancy actually bought some game time, and she has 9 minutes remaining of that game time to play. So I look here and I'm just hovering over it, and it tells me that she has 375 Gritcoins. So if Nancy ever wanted to click on change her background, I can go and change theme, and I see that, remember with Samantha's, she didn't have all of these themes open, but obviously Nancy has used some of her Gritcoins already, and she's already purchased some of these. So right now she's sporting a New York look, but if I wanted to do, say, a London look, just because she's already purchased them, she can go right ahead and change that background look to suit her feel that day. Or if Nancy wanted to go in and choose an avatar, well, she has her avatar already chosen, and she's already purchased these items. So she can always change to any of these other features because they're staying in her interface because she's already purchased them. Now, I'll do one more to show you, say, another student. Let's see. Let's look at, say, Tyler. Log in as Tyler. This tells me Tyler has 85 Gritcoins, but no Gritcoins purchased. So I can actually go in. I think you understand how you can change your interface and your avatar. I'm going to click on games, and it tells me, oops, because he has no game time here, it's telling him that you can go actually purchase your games, and we purchase in bundles of 10. So Tyler can actually buy those games and confirm his purchase, and it will say, okay, game time purchased is 10 minutes. And Tyler can always go in and buy any of these avatars or these outfits that he wants if he has enough money to do that. So I'm going to go click on the phone home button for Tyler. Notice immediately it tells him he has 10 minutes. And should he click on this game console again, he is then shown the different games that he can play. I hope you now understand what Gritcoins are, how students earn them, how to activate them, and how students use them within Typing Agent. Do make Gritcoins a part of your students and students typing agent experience. They really do motivate students to go work through their typing activities successfully in order to play games and to customize their environments. That's all for now. Have a great day. Oh, before I go, sorry, I should alert you. As teachers, should you ever want to find out anything about Gritcoins, you can use this help button, or under here it has our Solution Center. Both are the exact same thing. You can click on that and do your search for Gritcoins. And there it is. You can have this article that explains what Gritcoins are and how you may use them. That's all for now. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.